All right, so welcome to our deep dive. And have you ever wondered what it actually takes to be a tax preparer?
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, maybe you're thinking about switching careers, or maybe you're just kind of curious about, the whole process behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. So today we're going to do exactly that.
Okay, love it.
We're going to give you a glimpse into the hiring process.
Ooh.
And we're going to do that using a real set of interview questions and answers
Yeah.
that hiring managers use to find great tax preparers.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so we're going to break down what these questions tell us about the skills and the qualities that you need to succeed in this field.
So it's like we're eavesdropping on a job interview.
Exactly. I love it. So it's really fascinating to see how employers assess candidates, especially for something as complex and ever-changing as tax preparation.
Right, because it's a lot more than just, filing some forms.
Absolutely. So let's just jump right in.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so first up, they want to know about your accounting knowledge.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you got to know your debits and your credits, right?
Exactly.
But the interesting thing to me is that the sample answer really emphasizes not just knowledge, but accuracy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they highlight how crucial attention to detail is for this job.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's not enough to just know the tax code.
Right.
A good tax preparer needs to be able to apply that knowledge super meticulously to make sure that their clients are compliant.
Right.
And, maximizing their deductions.
Yeah, you don't want to miss anything.
Exactly. Every number, every form, every single thing has to be perfect.
Precise.
Yes.
Okay, so next they're asking about your experience in the accounting industry,
Uh-huh.
but specifically beyond tax preparation.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think they're trying to figure out with this question?
I think they're looking for someone who, has more of a broad perspective when it comes to financial matters.
Okay.
So someone who's maybe worked in auditing or, financial analysis or budgeting, they bring a more holistic understanding.
Yeah, like a bigger picture.
Right. They can see how taxes fit into the overall picture of a business or a person's, financial health.
So it's more than just filling out forms.
Exactly.
It's about really understanding the big picture.
Yes.
Now, get this, one question asked specifically about experience with both individual and corporate taxes.
Oh, wow.
So it seems like they really want someone who can handle a diverse clientele.
Yeah, for sure. Because, handling both individual and corporate tax returns requires a way, broader skill set
Right.
and knowledge base, and corporate taxes especially. They can get so complex
Oh, yeah.
with all these different regulations and deductions and strategies.
Oh, I bet.
So someone who can handle both, they're showing a high level of expertise and versatility.
Yeah, they're not messing around.
No, they're not.
Okay, so, and speaking of expertise, the next few questions dive into very specific software,
Yeah.
like Drake and QuickBooks.
I see.
And I'll admit, I had to Google what Drake was.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Drake and QuickBooks are industry-leading software programs
Uh-huh.
designed specifically for tax preparation and accounting.
Okay.
And it seems like being proficient in these tools is becoming super important in this field.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about it. Technology's everywhere now.
Right.
And so, why not in taxes too?
Yeah, makes sense. So it's not enough to just be good with numbers. You have to be tech savvy too.
Right.
And they really get into it, they're asking about your comfort levels with different features and workflows.
Yeah, because these programs can automate so many things.
Oh, yeah.
Like calculations and reports, even filing taxes electronically.
Really?
It just streamlines the whole process for the preparer and for the client.
Yeah, that makes things so much easier for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if you could just import all your financial data directly into the software
Yeah,
instead of having to enter everything by hand.
right. That would save so much time. Okay, get ready for this one. They actually ask about having a notary public license.
Wait, a notary
Yeah.
for taxes?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have thought of that either.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not always required,
Right.
but it definitely shows that you're willing to go the extra mile for your clients.
Yeah, I guess so.
There are some situations where having a notary on hand can be really helpful,
Okay.
especially when you're dealing with certain forms and documents.
Makes sense. And they even ask if you'd be willing to get certified if you don't already have a license.
Oh, wow.
So I think that really shows initiative
Yeah.
and a commitment to professional development.
Right. They're not just complacent with where they're at.
Yeah, those seem to be recurring themes.
For sure.
Okay, last question before I move on.
Okay.
They want to know about your payroll experience.
Okay, well, that one seems a little more obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty closely related.
Right.
Like, having payroll experience shows that you really understand how taxes are calculated
Mm.
and how they're withheld from employee wages.
Right.
So it ties directly into tax preparation for businesses and for individuals.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Yeah, payroll taxes. It really is a tangled web sometimes.
You could say that, but a good tax preparer can untangle all those threads and, like, make sense of it all.
So we've covered like the first 7 questions here, and I'm already seeing some clear patterns emerging.
Me too.
So what are some of the key takeaways for you so far?
Well, one thing that's really striking to me is that they're putting a lot of emphasis on both hard and soft skills.
Yeah.
Like, they want someone who not only understands, accounting and tax law,
Right.
but can also use technology effectively and communicate clearly and just be willing to go above and beyond.
Yeah, so they're really looking for a well-rounded individual,
Exactly.
not just like a human calculator.
Yeah, you got to be detail-oriented and tech-savvy and client-focused all at the same time.
That's a lot.
It is.
But before we wrap up this part, they also mentioned some red flags to watch out for,
Oh, interesting.
which are like equally insightful.
Yeah, like it's like looking at the flip side of the coin.
Yeah.
It tells us what employers don't want to see.
Exactly.
And that's just as important as knowing what they do want.
Yeah, so let's dive into those red flags when we come back for part 2.
Can't wait.
All right, see you then.
Sounds good. So welcome back to our deep dive into the world of tax preparation.
And we've just uncovered some pretty fascinating insights from like real interview questions.
Right.
Giving us a sneak peek into what employers really look for in a tax preparer.
Yeah. And one thing's for sure, it's clear they want someone with a unique blend of technical expertise and people skills.
It's not just about crunching those numbers.
No, definitely not. It's about like building relationships with clients and understanding their, individual financial situation.
Right, because taxes can be like a super stressful and confusing topic for a lot of people.
Oh, for sure.
You want someone who can like explain things clearly and patiently answer your questions and just make you feel confident that your finances are in good hands.
Right. You want to feel like you can trust them.
Exactly.
Empathy and patience are like essential qualities for a tax preparer.
Yeah, I could see that.
They have to be able to guide their clients and teach them how to navigate the tax system without making them feel overwhelmed.
Right. And let's not forget about problem-solving skills.
Absolutely. Every tax situation is different.
Right.
And there's always going to be unexpected challenges.
Yeah, for sure.
A great tax preparer needs to be able to think critically, analyze the situation, and come up with creative solutions that are going to benefit their client.
It's almost like they're a financial detective,
I love that analogy.
uncovering those deductions and credits that the client might not even be aware of.
Right, exactly. And they have to do all of this while staying up to date with like all the ever-changing tax laws and regulations.
Oh, yeah. I bet that's a lot to keep up with.
The learning never stops in this field.
That's why it's so important to be committed to professional development. Like attending conferences, taking continuing education courses, staying informed about all the latest trends.
Yeah, it all comes back to providing the best possible service for your clients.
It really is a dynamic profession
Yeah.
that demands intellectual curiosity and a dedication to excellence.
You have to be passionate about like staying ahead of the curve.
So we've talked a lot about what employers look for in terms of skills and experience.
Huh?
But now I'm curious, what about you?
Okay.
Like, what qualities would you personally prioritize when you're choosing a tax preparer?
Oh, that's a great question. And honestly, I think it's so important for everyone to think about what matters most to them when it comes to like their financial advisor.
Yeah.
Would you choose experience over personality?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I know, right? Or like technical skills versus communication.
It's a personal decision, but it's something that you should really put some thought into.
Yeah, definitely. Because you're entrusting someone with your, hard-earned money. You want to be sure that they have the expertise and the integrity to handle it responsibly.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about those red flags we mentioned earlier.
Oh, yeah. Those are important, too.
Understanding what to avoid is just as crucial as knowing what to look for.
Right.
So let's unpack some of those red flags.
Okay.
The first one that really stood out to me was a lack of accounting knowledge.
Well,
I mean, it seems pretty obvious, right?
yeah, it might seem obvious.
But you'd be surprised how many people try to do tax preparation without a solid understanding of accounting principles.
Yeah, that's like the foundation of everything in this field.
Right. And then there's limited experience in tax preparation itself, because experience really matters, right?
It's not just about knowing the rules.
Right.
It's about knowing how to apply them to real-life situations.
Right.
Having experience means you've been exposed to more situations,
Okay.
and it helps you develop the skills to handle the challenges.
Okay, and of course we can't forget about technology. They flagged unfamiliarity with tax software as a big red flag.
Well, yeah, so we talked about earlier, technology is like a key part of tax preparation these days.
Yeah.
Software programs like Drake and QuickBooks,
Mm-hmm.
they aren't just convenient. They're essential tools for being accurate and efficient.
Yeah, right.
Someone who's not comfortable using these programs is going to have a hard time keeping up with the demands of the job.
And they might make mistakes.
Exactly. And those mistakes can be costly.
So what about that notary license?
Oh, right.
They mentioned that an unwillingness to get one could be a red flag.
Yeah, I mean, a notary license might not be a deal breaker for every employer,
Okay.
but I think it shows something about a person's flexibility and willingness to go above and beyond for their clients.
Yeah, like they're proactive.
Right.
And they want to offer a comprehensive service.
Exactly.
Okay, and last but not least, they mentioned a lack of experience in payroll processing as a potential concern.
Okay, yeah, payroll experience isn't always a requirement for a tax preparer, but it definitely shows a deeper level of understanding.
Okay.
It shows you really understand how taxes are calculated and withheld from wages,
Right.
which is really important when you're dealing with businesses or self-employed individuals.
So it seems like these red flags aren't just about a lack of specific skills,
Yeah.
but also like a lack of commitment or a mindset that might not be the best fit for this kind of work.
That's a really good point. It's not just about checking off boxes on a list.
Right.
It's about having the right attitude and a genuine desire to keep learning and growing in the field.
Because this is a field that's constantly changing, right?
Exactly. Tax laws are always changing. Technology is evolving, and
Right.
clients' needs are becoming more complex.
So a good tax preparer needs to be adaptable
Right.
and always learning new things.
Yeah, always staying ahead of the curve.
Makes you think, what other qualities or red flags would you personally consider
That's a good question.
when choosing someone to handle your taxes?
Yeah.
It's definitely something worth thinking about. As we move into the final part of our deep dive, and welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into tax preparation,
We've come a long way.
we've explored all those skills and qualities that make a great tax preparer from both like the employer's point of view and like your own personal perspective.
Right. What are you looking for?
Exactly. And now it's time to put all that knowledge to good use.
That's right, because choosing the right tax preparer is a big financial decision.
It is.
And it's not something that you should take lightly.
No, absolutely not.
There are so many factors to consider.
Right.
And hopefully we've given you the tools to make the right choice.
Yeah, it's like we're giving you a cheat sheet for finding that perfect tax preparer.
Exactly.
So where do we even begin?
Well, I think the first thing you should look at is their credentials and experience.
Okay, makes sense.
Look for someone who is licensed or certified by a reputable organization,
Yeah, like what kind of organization?
like the IRS
Okay.
or a state board of accountancy.
So those certifications tell you that the preparer has met certain standards.
Exactly.
Don't they?
It's like
Yeah.
checking their qualifications before you trust them with your money.
And beyond those basic credentials, you should also ask about their experience handling specific tax situations.
Right, like, are you a small business owner?
Yeah.
Then you're going to want a preparer who understands how to file those business taxes.
Someone who speaks your language.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid to ask for referrals or read online reviews.
Oh, yeah, word of mouth is so valuable.
Yeah, it gives you those insights into like their communication style,
Uh-huh.
their professionalism, and like the overall client satisfaction.
Exactly. Like, do they explain things clearly?
Right.
Are they responsive to your questions?
That kind of stuff.
That's what you can get from those reviews.
Yeah. And speaking of communication, pay attention to how they interact with you during that initial consultation.
Right, like, do they actually listen to you?
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable sharing your financial information with them?
Yeah, that's a big one. It's all about building that trust.
Right, and being transparent.
Exactly. You want to feel confident and secure with them.
And on like a more practical level, it's a good idea to discuss fees up front.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Tax preparers charge in different ways,
Right.
so know their pricing structure before you commit.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to ask about their fees.
Yeah.
Get a clear estimate.
Yeah.
And if you need to, you can always negotiate.
It's your money.
Exactly.
You have the right to know how much it's going to cost.
Right.
And remember, you are ultimately responsible for the accuracy of your return.
That's important.
Even if you hire a professional,
Right.
always review it carefully before you sign anything.
Uh-huh. Make sure you understand everything.
Yeah, and ask questions about anything that seems unclear.
Your tax preparer should be happy to help.
Absolutely.
It's all about being informed and empowered.
Right.
Don't just blindly sign.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to encourage you to approach tax preparation with a sense of confidence
Yes.
and knowledge.
You got that. By understanding those key skills and qualities and all those factors that we talked about,
Uh-huh.
you can navigate the tax system
Right.
and make informed financial decisions.
And remember, if you're ever unsure about something,
Yeah.
don't hesitate to ask for help.
Good advice.
There are lots of resources available
Yeah.
to help you understand your tax obligations.
And to just make the most of your money.
Exactly.
Well, I hope this deep dive has been informative and maybe even a little bit enjoyable.
Me too.
Taxes don't have to be this big, scary thing.
Right.
With a little knowledge and the right guidance, you can take control of your finances and feel good about filing those taxes.
We've had a lot of fun sharing our insights with you today,
We have.
and I hope you've gained some valuable knowledge to help you navigate the world of tax preparation.
Whether you're hiring a pro or just DIYing it.
Exactly.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay ahead of the game.
And have a stress-free tax season.
That's the goal.